I think a lot of people misunderstand where Japanese car culture actually started coming from. It didn't start with Keijitsuchiya, Ari Amemiya, or even Midnight Club. The true origin of Japanese automotive obsession started in the early 1960s over Italian food at a restaurant in Roppongi called Chianti. This was the meeting place for a tiny elite group of young racers, designers, and entrepreneurs. You see, at the time, Japan didn't have a professional racing scene, or not much of one. While Europe had well-established circuits throughout the 40s and 50s, Japan wouldn't hit the ground running with circuit racing until the 1960s. That all changed in 1963 when Suzuka hosted the first Japanese GP. For the first time, many of Japan's young drivers found themselves competing alongside some of Europe's finest. And it was these chance meetings that inspired our group of budding cultural icons to bring what had once been an unobtainable echelon of European motorsport to Japan's rapidly growing race-hungry public. These were the founding fathers of Japan's modern racing movement: Soichiro Shikiba, a wealthy gentleman racer, Toyota's works driver, and the winner of the first Japanese GP, Tetsu Ikuzawa, becoming the country's first and so far only Porsche factory driver, and Tojiro Ukiya, one of the most gifted young drivers of his generation. Alongside creatives like Hiroyoshi Sugie and Yusuke Ishizu, they would become the driving force behind a cultural movement that reached far beyond the racetrack. Two brands would come to define their vision. The clothing brand Van brought the attitude of European racing elite to Japan, acting as a school to teach Japanese youth about Western culture and manners, and even financially sponsoring these young racers. Meanwhile, Shikiba's brand Racing Mate injected the exact same influence into the cars themselves, making for a Japan-flavored less than and above. Drawing direct inspiration from Alfa Romeo's legendary racing team, they adopted the four-leaf clover as their trademark. Their first product was a leather steering wheel cover. Little did they know, though, this would be the spark that established the cultural revolution we still see today in Japan. They expanded into racing suits, gloves, and eventually some of Japan's earliest original magnesium and aluminium racing wheels. Walk down any street where car guys gathered and you would see that four-leaf clover badge proudly slapped on the back of cars. Even today, any classic car owner in Japan worth their salt has one on their vintage car. They were everywhere. But like a lot of pioneers, they burnt bright and fast. By the early 1970s, the country had disappeared almost as quickly as it had arrived. Its legacy, however, never disappeared. Without that single leather steering wheel cover, and without those late nights eating Italian food at Chianti, the scene we know today simply doesn't exist.